Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your match preview. West Ham versus Chelsea is upon us. Wow, this one, ladies and gentlemen, is a very big match. But you know what? I'm going into this particular match with some level of confidence, knowing we got the 3 points against Bournemouth, albeit wasn't the best performance, but we squeezed out a victory, which is the most important, giving us some momentum moving into this particular fixture away from home to West Ham, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy. It's not easy. And I believe this particular team in recent times has posed a bit of a problem for us as well. If I recall last season, I don't think we had good results against this team. And they're quite physical. They press well. They've got plethora of good attacking players. Defensively, they're generally solid. But having said that, this season under a new manager, they're not really up and going at the moment. And similarly, it can be said about us at Chelsea Football Club. Look, we're going to have a look at the team, and see if there is any huge differences, because for me, it kind of seems like quite even on the paper. So gone are those days where Chelsea Football Club, the team just looked far superior to West Ham. But now, honestly, West Ham, their team is not bad. So look, it's a tricky affair, no doubts about that, but it's a game that we need to go out there and just continue with this momentum. We can't just have 3 points against Bournemouth, then drop points against West Ham, and then after this we've got Brighton, which is not going to be an easy game at home. If we want to do some level of damage this season, if we want to achieve something substantial, we need to pick up these points. So let's have a quick look at how the West Ham team shapes up generally. Let's go into their team. Let me just bring this notch down a little bit and let's go to this particular view. All right, let's have a look at more matches. Let's look at West Ham's last game. They had a draw. So far, West Ham, ladies and gentlemen, this is what the Premier League table looks like. This is a clash between 8th, as you can see, Chelsea 8th with 7 points, and West Ham 14th with 4 points. Yeah, as I said, West Ham have not kicked off nicely at all this season. So this is a good moment to play them and potentially get the 3 points off them. But then again, we've been topsy-turvy as well. So let's have a quick look at the West Ham team that they had against Fulham. Let's have a look at the lineup. So this is how West Ham lined up. Antonio is a menace. You know he's going to be a menace. Kudus is very, very fluid in attack and extremely dangerous in attack. Souček is very physical. You best believe he's not going to play as a number 10. He's going to drop in somewhere in midfield, and he's definitely going to be a huge threat in the set pieces. Jared Bowen, we know he's got the pace. He's got the creativity as well. His deliveries from that right side cutting in is going to be dangerous. Alvarez, Rodriguez, very, very strong midfield. Then they've got Emerson, ex-Chelsea player, Kilman, strong defender, Mavropanos, and Wan-Bissaka has been quite a bit of a revelation at West Ham. He's been doing well. And Areola is a very good defender. And in the bench, they've got Soler, Sufal, Somerville, Paqueta, Danny Ings, Fabianski, Creswell, Todibo, and Irving. So you can see it's a strong bench. It's probably going to be a different team. I fully expect players like Lucas Paqueta, the likes of Paqueta to play, perhaps even Somerville, who knows? And of course, Todibo, John-Claude Todibo, strong defender. So look, when you look at that team, ladies and gentlemen, on paper, yeah, you can't distinctly say that they are a ton better than us. If anything, this is probably an even Stevens game. So look, as I said, 8th versus 14th. They're not in the best shape. They haven't started the season well. It's a new manager, new setup. This is probably a great opportunity for us to go in there and see if we can pick up some points against them. 3 points is paramount. Look, is draw a bad result? Probably not. When you look at the entire situation, a draw at West Ham right now might not be the worst result, but of course you want to get the 3 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, whole heap of conversation that needs to be talked about when we do the team selection. So we're going to wait for that. But before we do that, let's have a look at some of the latest news that's been floating around off the back of Enzo Maresca's press conference. As you can see, he was late. This has become a trademark for all Chelsea managers to be late for press conferences. These are some of the things that Enzo Maresca said in the press conference, ladies and gentlemen. Maresca on James, his injury is a bit delayed. The most important is that they come back when they are 100% fit. He's still out. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on Reece James anymore. It's not a top story. He's unavailable. That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Maresca on Sancho, he's working hard on and off the ball. We used the international break to focus on him. He's doing well, which is fantastic. I'm going to have Sancho starting. Hopefully he is capable of starting. Maresca says Enzo and Dewsbury Hall are back in the squad. Look, this is where the conundrum is, the midfield, and we're going to elaborate a lot more when we do the squad selection. Maresca and Nkunku versus Jackson. We used Nkunku their last game. He's completely different to Nicholas. Nico is a number 9. Nkunku isn't a real number 9. I'm so happy with the squad we have. Not just to them two. Nkunku doesn't like to play wide. He likes to play center. But sometimes to find the balance, he plays in a position that isn't the best for him. So Maresca coming out and stating that Nkunku really does prefer to play through the middle as opposed to wide areas, which is fine. I mean, I tend to think he's more of a second striker or a number 10 as well. Maresca on Malo Gusto, ladies and gentlemen, he is not fit. So we have a conundrum in the back line, and we will talk about this more when I do the team selection. Unfortunately, we don't have an idea at the moment when Reece will return. He's been very unlucky. We planned to change him after 65 minutes, and he got injured in the minute 62, 63. When did this happen? Where he got injured during a game? I don't even recall. He didn't even play. So when did this actually happen? Did this happen in the preseason? My God. Anyway, as I said, I don't want to spend too much time on Reece James at all. Maresca clarifies his attackers. This is very important. This is interesting. Maresca coming out and publicly stating where he sees everyone fitting in. Left wing, Jayden and Misha. Right wing, we have Noni and Pedro. As 10, we have Cole and Zhao. And as 9, we have Nico and Christoph. There you go. No more confusion needed how things will be, where everyone will fit in. There's 2 players and 2 quality players for each position, which is fantastic to see. Maresca about Josh Achapong. I really like Josh. For me, potentially, he can be a top player and defender for the future. Now, with the young players, I like to modify them a little bit. Today, for young players, they can change very quick. They can think they are good or bad. I don't really completely understand, but I think what he's trying to say is that perhaps we need to be patient with him. This season, we used Nico up front. It doesn't mean we aren't going to use Christoph or Mark, but we are very happy with Nico. So that's fantastic. And that is the latest when it comes to the press conference information. And there's a bit more. Pedro Neto was playing left wing because Jayden wasn't here or wasn't ready, and I preferred Pedro over Misha for that game. So yeah, I fully expect Jadon Sancho to be on the left side. I can't imagine we are going to be playing with Mikhailo Mudryk, right? All right, let's do the team selection, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the fun begins. Goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez, with his man of the match performance against Bournemouth continues, and I need him to be on point again. Very crucial. Robert Sanchez continues his good momentum against Bournemouth into this particular match, because West Ham are going to be extremely, extremely difficult. Now, what am I going to do with the midfield, ladies and gentlemen, with the back line? Well, I'm actually going to play with... All right, let's start. Cucurella in left back position. And I'm actually going to drag him away. And I'll show you why I'm going to be dragging him away. Levi Colwill. So potentially I'm playing with 3 at the back, ladies and gentlemen. The balance I felt against Bournemouth, and I get it, it's a different opposition, West Ham, but it shouldn't matter too much between West Ham and Bournemouth. So I'm playing with the 3 at the back. I feel like that gave us a good balance against Bournemouth in the second half when these players came on in the likes of Tosin. I really don't want to see Desasi. I think Desasi is going to get cooked if he starts against Kudus. And Wesley Fofana looks a little bit strange as well when he's playing to, it's him and Levi Colwell and Wesley Fofana as the right RCB. Well, in the two, the right side at CB, I think he's not always comfortable. No Reece James, no Malo Gusto. We're left with this option. Wesley Fofana, for me, ladies and gentlemen, will be the RCB in this game, in the back three. So for me, this is the setup that gives me the most balance in the back line. Obviously, off the ball, Cucurella will shift into the left side and defend there. But on the ball, Levi Colwell, I like him to be on that LCB position. He's very, very good with his distribution. Tosin is far better through the center, and he's far more aggressive when it comes to ball distribution through the middle. And Wesley Fofana seems far more comfortable on the right side, where his flaws are somewhat looked after. Now, in midfield, this is where the conundrum is. Now, I need this game. We have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a physical game. And just like every other game in the Premier League, midfield is where we seem to be getting screwed a lot. And Enzo Fernandez, I know he's back. No Romeo Lavia as yet. But I don't know if I'm going to have Enzo Fernandez back into the team straight away. I think I'm going to utilize Renato Vega as the deepest midfielder. Renato Vega, for me, will be the deepest midfielder, and he's going to operate somewhere there as close to Tosin, which will then allow... This is the shenanigans that we saw against Bournemouth, where Cucurella ends up playing as a number 10 somehow. So look, these are the areas he's going to operate. So I'm going to just place Cucurella over there. It looks like he's a number 8, but look, essentially he's going to be a central midfielder. Sometimes you might even see him operating as a number 10. We saw Cucurella in funny areas, but this is what's going to happen in this formation. Moses Caicedo is going to be the other midfielder. For me, ladies and gentlemen, this gives me the most balance in midfield. I feel like all of these players are capable of winning the duels. All of these players are capable of recovering quickly, and they get stuck in. This is not a game where we can Mickey Mouse around. West Ham will rip us apart if we are somewhat weak in midfield. Enzo Fernandez, as much as I like him, as much as I love him, he's good on the ball, but the suspicion, he's suspect. He's massively suspect when it comes to off-the-ball work rate. He can easily be outrun and pushed over, bundled over, and I don't want that in this particular game. Jadon Sancho is going to be on the left side for me. Hopefully he's capable of starting. It's very crucial that he's able to start. Jadon Sancho starts for me on that right side. On the left side. And on the right side, I'm going with Pedro Neto. I know Noni Madueke in recent times, obviously he's scored that hat-trick, got an assist for England, but let's not forget, for the last few games, he's not performed well. And I think Pedro Neto's best strength is going to be from the right side. So I want to really see that happen for Chelsea. And that's why I'm going to go with this. Noni Madueke can come off the bench. There is a game, I believe, midweek next week, which Noni Madueke, I'm sure, will be able to play. Cole Palmer, for me, will be the number 10. And I'm going to play with Nkunku up front. I think he's our best finisher. And I know he's not the greatest when it comes to, okay, well, we can't just go route one over here. He's going to struggle if a couple of defenders are on him. But we have to play differently when you play with Nkunku. You cannot just pump in long balls. You cannot just pump in crosses. You got to try and find the ball to feet with him. And he's far more... His movement, look, I'm not going to say Nicholas Jackson's movement's not good. Nicholas Jackson's movement's pretty good indeed. But the issue with Nicholas Jackson is that he is incapable of finishing at times. And Look, let's be honest. Nicholas Jackson, when he gets an opportunity in the box, there's a good chance he's probably going to miss. There's a very good chance that this is a game I'm not going to gamble. I think Nkunku has, you know, deserves his chance to start this game off the back of scoring that winner against Bournemouth. He looked very, very hungry, and you want to be able to reward that hunger. So for me, ladies and gentlemen, there is that defensive conundrum, and I feel like we need to go with a back three. There is the midfield conundrum, and I feel like we need to go with someone like Renato Vega to give us a little bit more balance in midfield and play the way we played against Bournemouth in the second half. And up front, I'm playing with Nkunku. This is my team that I've got set up against West Ham. Robert Sanchez in goalkeeping position. Wesley Fofana, Tosin, Levi Colwell wrapping up the back three. In midfield, I'll have Caicedo, Renato Vega as the deepest, Marc Cucurella, who's going to invert and then go back into that left back position off the ball. Cole Palmer as the number 10, Pedro Neto on the right, Jadon Sancho on the left, and Nkunku up front. I think this team definitely can do the damage against West Ham and gives a very, very good balance. For me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going with a scoreline of 2-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea to beat, 1-2, West Ham home. So Chelsea to win 2-1 against West Ham. It's not going to be an easy game, but I feel if we play with that lineup, if we play with a lot of intensity, if we play to win duels on a regular basis, win the second balls in midfield, then we've got a top opportunity. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, on that lineup. Let me know your thoughts on the score prediction. I shall see you guys for the watch along. Until then, take care. See ya. Goodbye.